Yo, what's up, gamers? Guys, are you an alpha gamer yet? I'm gonna give you a one-time opportunity, a limited edition, kind of an early Christmas present. Hit that subscribe button right now, and you're gonna become a fresh alpha gamer. I know, it's a big deal. That's why I'm giving it to you guys. But guys, let's get to something a little more serious that I'm not sure I ever wanted to talk about. I'm not sure I ever would have believed. This is a much larger deal. It's quite possibly one of the biggest controversies in all speedrunning. It's been going on for the last 7 years, and recently people's opinions have been changing. Things have started to change. About a few days ago, Jaden came out and he said publicly Kryssstal's run, everything Kryssstal did in 2DX and in Link to the Past, it's all fake. Everything is fake. Everything she did is fake. Her whole character is a lie. Everything's a lie. He said that 2 days ago, and a lot of the 2DX people jumped on it. And a lot of people in the speedrun community jumped on it because a lot of people have been saying that for a long time, and there's nothing really to justify Kryssstal's runs being real. Now, Jaden didn't provide any evidence saying that her runs are fake. He only provided the account that he's mad at her. He's mad. He says her runs are fake. He's convinced. Right, 100% conviction that, yes, her runs were fake. Everything she did is fake. So it's highly possible that he's not lying, that these actually are fake, but it's also possible. And a lot of people are thinking or suggesting that he is trying to get back at her because there's a lot of personal history between the two of them this year, but also in the past 7 to 8 years. And I don't know a lot of it, but this year has been a long year for both of them. And it's definitely possible that he's trying to get back at her, get revenge on her. But here's the other thing. He was always her biggest advocate over the past 8 years. So back in 2DX, when nobody believed her ridiculous scores with no validation, no proof, and she refused to ever show any proof. He was always the one saying, hey, you know what? She's real. These are real. She's just talented. He was always the person to say that. When they both imported over to Link to the Past in early 2010, same deal. He was always behind her saying, no, this is, it's real. Trust me. If you don't trust her, trust me, or whatever. So for him to come out and say, no, it's all fake, to me, that means a lot. And I don't think he would randomly just say that. I don't think he's saying that out of spite. I don't think that he's trying to get back at her. Maybe he is, and again, he provided no justifications for why her runs are fake. But at the same time, it's gotten me thinking because, you know what, this pillar in the community, being the legitimacy of Kryssstal's runs, I've built my gameplay off of the past 4 years. I built my whole ideal of gameplay. Everything has been built off of these runs being real. So for me to hear that, I'm starting to think, no, these runs are fake. They actually are fake. Of course they're fake. What the hell was I thinking in the past 4 years? Like, of course these runs are fake. So I'm really kind of glad that more people are playing with this idea, or then toying with this idea that, of course, these runs are fake. And the thing is, there's nothing to justify these runs being real, right? There's nothing to justify them being fake, but there's nothing to justify them being real. Most top players, you can look at my runs. I'm playing with webcam. I'm playing with mic. Pretty much every top runner is in the same boat. They're active in the community. They're actually doing stuff. Kryssstal had a lot of that, but she never had the actual legitimacy in her runs, and she almost never streamed. She always played an emulator. There was never any proof. It was always word of mouth and trusting her friends, right? So for her to be legitimatized, based on what? Based on what exactly? And the thing is, she was always a pillar in the Link Pass community. Pretty much built the Link Pass community. So a lot of it was that if somebody completely builds the community and then they do a run, well, of course you give them the benefit of the doubt. But that's not entirely true because by her own admission, she says Oddity found 99% of the strats for the game. And Oddity shares the Link to Past for HTTP, the YouTube account, the L4H YouTube account. Oddity shares the account. Everybody knows Oddity's pretty much found everything in this game the past 4 years. What exactly did Kryssstal grind? And she said in an old SDA post even that she She just had the time to grind it out. So Audie would find the stuff and then she would just grind it out because she had the time, the free time to grind it out, which is another thing that doesn't really add up because now Audie said specifically that Jaden was doing this to throw Kryssstal under the bus and that she's fine. But as far as I know, Kryssstal is not an accountable person, and she as far as I've seen and heard and everybody I've talked to, there's nothing to prove or nothing to substantiate any of her runs. And we'll watch some of these runs. They're pretty extreme. The feats in them are pretty extreme, and honestly, a lot of the runs don't make any sense. The movement doesn't make any sense. There's big question marks, no answers, and there's some things that go beyond. She's just really good. Stuff in the no damage run, for example, where it was extraordinarily risky and she just kind of YOLO'd it, and it's like, well, you could argue that that's really the level of gameplay she's at, but it's not a smart, it's not even a smart move, right? Or like some things in her Golden Sword run where she gets a 1 frame spike dash, 1 pixel dash between the spikes, which is also 1 frame to get on that pixel. With 3 hearts, there's no reason to even go for this. So I really would question, like, that's not even faster to go for that. So I would why would you do that, right? But if she did make fake runs for entertainment purposes, right? She played the game. She still understood. I mean, she knew an incredible amount of the game. She still played the game a lot. She knew a lot about the game. So what do? You just make some. You task some runs for entertainment purposes. You turn off some of the code in the emulator. It's insanely easy. And then you play these runs to an audience and for fun, for entertainment, which I think is pretty lame. I think it's pretty bad. I think it's dark. I personally don't think somebody's cheating has done anything for the game or the community. Some people like to think, oh, she did a lot for the community. That's dirt. If you cheat once, you've done nothing for the community. You are literally trash. You are waste. You're useless. You have destroyed the game. You've hurt the community, if anything. So we're gonna look at some of these things now. Again, there is nothing to validate her runs being cheated, but at the same time, there's literally nothing to validate the run being real at all. So especially with the Jaden coming forward and saying, hey, no, this is fake, I'm going to delete her runs from the leaderboard, and until some kind of validation or some kind of proof can come forward, she's not going to have a time on Zelda speedruns. If anybody wants to come forward and say, hey, these runs are real, I can testify, that'd be really great, because I really would like to believe these runs are real. I know a lot of people would, but watching these runs and thinking about it, looking at the history, her character, there's basically no way in hell these are real. It's stuff like this to me, which once you look at it with the goggles that this is fake, and her only source that has been defending her for the past 7 to 8 years, says, hey, no, these are fake runs. Once you think about that and then you rewatch these runs, it's stuff like this that makes you wonder, because doing this on a run when you're -7 is unreasonable. It's completely unreasonable. It's stuff like this right here where it's a little too far-fetched. And it's flashy plays. Flashy plays that, it's great. And honestly, if someone ever does that in a run, I'd power to them. When there's quite possibly the least transparency of a speedrunner out of all speedrunners, and they almost never stream, and they have no accountability, and nobody's and people are going against their legitimacy. I think it's time to start having some accountability for leaderboards, and I think it's time to start having some transparency for leaderboards, and that's why I'm going to delete these times and move forward in the world like the past, and that means Portal Pingus is 3rd place as far as now goes going forward. in the World League past, unless there's some accountability or transparency for Krystal's runs. She does not have any records, which she actually doesn't anyway, and she doesn't have any accomplished times. So, thanks for watching. And as weird as this situation is, I'm hoping that some things will become uncovered, some things will go through over the next several weeks or several months, maybe even several years. I have no idea, and I honestly, I'd rather not get too involved. But as somebody moderates the leaderboard as well, it's time to step up.